The more that I experience life, the more comfortable that I become in my skin as a black woman. I feel so free at this point in my life. I feel that my thinking has evolved for the better and that it is something that will be beneficial for me and my children and my family going forward. I feel so lucky at this point in my life to have gained such newfound knowledge that I've gained in reference to my womanhood, how I want to exemplify my womanhood, the importance that my femininity plays in my life, because I've come from an environment where resting in my femininity was not always an option. I mean, of course, there was definitely a lot of qualities about me that were always feminine. I think femininity, when you look up the word, it states things that are generally considered denoted to the what they call female characteristics, and it goes on to say things like empathy, understanding, kindness, passivity, gentleness, warmth, cooperativeness, sweetness, nurturing, affection, tenderness, understanding, nurturing, helpful, devoted, understanding, things of that nature. I believe that for the most part, black women have always showed those characteristics, even though we have been accused of not being feminine. It was just some of those characteristics that we sometimes shielded ourselves from showing because of the tumultuous environment that we grown up in, such as, passivity and complete kindness and cooperation. Because if you live in a community where having and showing those characteristics can get you preyed upon, used, abused, and mistreated, then you tend to want to step away from having those characteristics or shield yourself from showing those characteristics. But I'm so happy that black women have gotten back to loving ourselves out loud, boldly and unapologetically. We are putting our wants, our needs, our goals, and our aspirations at the front line. We are educated, we are entrepreneurs, we are mothers, we are best friends, sisters, aunties. We are women. And though this world has gone through great lengths to try to tear us down, we are like a rose that grows through the concrete. We are talented, we are beautiful, we are fierce. We have a bravado and a uniqueness that is imitated in art, fashion, dancing, hairdressing, makeup, and is imitated through so many cultures. Century after century, decade after decade, generation after generation, we take nothing and make it into something. So many of us have started from humble beginnings and made extraordinary lives for ourselves. We jump hurdles, we go through trials and tribulations, and seem to always come out on top. Most educated, most entrepreneurial. And yes, I know we have some work to do, but keep fighting, sis. That's why I get so pissed off when I see things like this. It's like we take 5 steps forward and 10 steps back. Why on earth are these black women with these t shirts on letting the world know how much they are willing to protect black men? One says, I will protect my son. The other one says, I will protect my brother. One says, I will protect my father. And one says, I will protect black men. So, why exactly do you, as women, feel like you need to be on the front line protecting these men? All of them look very beautiful to me. All but one would be considered within the normal weight limit. They all have their natural hair. They don't have a face full of makeup and eyelashes that so many men are complaining about now. But yet they still want to be women warriors for their men. I just don't get it. I don't understand why we have to be the women warriors. Whomever thought that this was a good idea, they need to go back to the drawing board and they need to shut up and not give any more suggestions. So after seeing that cringeworthy picture that I just showed you, I also ran into this tweet on Twitter by a black American woman who says, Black women, stop letting African and Caribbean women disrespect and criticize our men. Ma'am, Ma'am, what are you talking about? Criticize the men who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire? What do you mean stop allowing people to criticize them? Stop allowing other women to criticize them? Not the men that are all over the internet telling the world how fat and uncooperative you are. Not those men you're saying that we need to protect. Sis, if you don't jump down off that mountain, burn that cape, put those steel toe boots away and that bullhorn, and step away from your damn Twitter with this nonsense. And of course, a black American man who she was trying to protect checked her at the bottom of her tweet saying, Africans are black, Caribbeans are black, and blacks and Caribbeans are African. I don't know what you're on about. Don't cause division. We are all one big community who hail from Africa. She was on her way climbing up Mammy Mountain, and this male was up there and kicked her in her forehead right down the damn mountain. So next, under a video of an interracial couple with a white man and a black woman, there goes another mammy. She says, Deuteronomy 7 tells you not to mix and mingle, and you guys are going against the Most High, and you think that you have something. You are getting ready to have a rude awakening. Peace. I mean, we all know that it's always a Bible thumping mammy that's going to try to tell you how you need to stand by your man, especially if he's a black man. I mean, these women literally sit in a church with 100 women, 2 deacons, and 1 pastor and pray for a husband. And then have the nerve to tell you that you're going to hell if you mix and mingle with men of other races. I guess they want you to be caught up with the pastor that used to be the pimp back in the 60s and 70s. But I want to say that there was nothing worse or more cringy than this community post that I saw written on somebody who considers themselves a divester, a woman on YouTube, wrote this community post, and it literally made my skin crawl. It was so sickening, for black women to be coming so far and for somebody to just post something so hateful, especially being that she herself is a black woman. And it just shows the incredible self-hate that she has within herself and the way that she looks at other black women. And I don't know why black men and black women put other races of men on this high pedestal and make it seem like you have to be a perfect 10, an absolute model, thin and tall, with a perfect breast and waist and hip circumference for men that are not black to date you. Like, this is ridiculous, especially with white men. Like, black people, men and women, have this delusion that the only way that a black woman can get a white man to date her is if she's a runway model or has graced the cover of the Playboy magazine. It's like, it's really disturbing that you guys think that, being that white men have always chased black women. They have always found black women to be what they would consider exotic. The reason why black women date and marry within their race at a percentage of above 90% is because black women choose to. Black women have steered away from dating outside of their race for many, many, many decades. And that is for several reasons. For one, it was the stigma of being called a bed wench, of being looked down upon and shamed within the black community. And another reason is because of the racism and torture that our ancestors had endured, that a lot of black women were not willing for a long time to forgive and to move on from. We really, really held a deep resentment for the way that our ancestors had been treated. And because of our long-term unyielding loyalty to our ancestors, specifically our women ancestors, we for a long time refused to date white men. The issue has never been that we weren't able to date white men because they didn't like black women. That is like an ignorant and illogical perception for anybody to even have. And the more that black women have decided to open their options, within the next 10 years, you will see a great shift in the number of dating and marriages between black women and non-black men. You all can read this comment. It was so disgusting. I don't even want to read it out loud. I just want to let black women know that we are beautiful, we are precious, we are a gem, and we should never let anyone deter us from our goals. We should never let anyone break our self esteem or take our self worth, woman or man, regardless of their race. In honor of this very ignorant community post, and if you see a mammy, rather divested or not, say something so ignorant and self loathing, you tell that psh too. With somebody saying some dumb shit, look at them like this and say, shut the fuck up. So, to dispel this ignorance that you have to be a perfect 10 to date non black males, I wanted to showcase the dating sites on Instagram. Specifically, white males that love black women that is listed on Instagram. And I want you to see how beautiful these women are, but how normal they look. They look like the everyday black woman that you would see in any part of America, at your job, at the grocery store, in your school, in your neighborhood. These are not supermodels. These are, of course, I believe that they're absolutely beautiful, but these are women that are ordinary women, and a lot of them, if they were within the black community and black men saw them, they would absolutely not say that they were perfect tens and supermodels. A lot of them, black men would even overlook. So, this whole notion that these women, these black women, have to be, top notch in order to get the attention of white men is just ludicrous. It is absolutely asinine. And that whole delusion that black men and some black women have created, that white men only date black women who are absolutely stunning, and they won't date an ordinary, everyday black woman. That needs to be, like, that really needs to be abolished, and that is really just to stop and stagnate black women. It's to lower and destroy your self-esteem and make you believe that there is no other men on earth that want you, so that you are beholden to the black community and to black men, and scared to look elsewhere because your self-esteem and your value, your self-worth is so low that you think that other men do not want you, when that is a complete lie. You don't have to be pencil thin, though I will say, a lot of times white men like thin women, but 70% of white women are overweight. So this whole notion that everybody is just looking for these ultra thin women and that black women are the only women that are overweight is a complete lie. A lot of the things that are said that are harmful towards black women are created within the black community and then put out into the world, and then black women will believe them because they are repeated over and over and over again within our communities. And a lot of times within our own families, we are told that we need to stay within our race. The men are not told that, is specifically the women. Look at this couple. This woman is obviously overweight, but she's still beautiful to him. But we are told over and over again within our community and within our own families that we aren't good enough for other people, that we have to lower our standards, that we have too many expectations, and that if we are not willing to settle and lower our standards, then we will have to get cats and dogs and die alone. We are being told that our education doesn't matter, and that from the time of 16, our goals and values and morals should be set on trying to get a man, have his children, support and nurture his goals and aspirations, and have his babies and sit at home and be a housewife. Oh, yeah, and on top of that, he should be able to have the option to cheat if he would like to, because he's just weighing his options. Only to be told that when you get a certain age, you will hit the wall and not be attractive to him, as well as if you have his children, you are no longer attractive. And don't forget, after 20 years of you not working, putting yourself on the back burner, not getting your education, if this marriage does not work out and you have no employment history, these men don't even want to pay you spousal support or child support. So now you're a middle aged woman with no employment history, and he expects you to just get out there and get a job and fend for yourself. And if you do try to get alimony or child support, you'll have mammies telling you how much of a gold digger you are. And the men as well,
No,
they'll say
no,
you're a
don't.
gold digger and you're trying to put the man in your business. The whole point of this post on Thanksgiving Day is to show how thankful I am to be a black woman myself and for other black women, and to say that we need to continue to be bodacious, to be outspoken, to be unapologetic in our stands in life, to know that we are beautiful, to know that we are cherished, and to know that we are worthy of being loved the correct way. And that love can come from whomever you feel like you would like to give your love to. You don't have to be stuck in a toxic environment, being mistreated, being overlooked, and having the person that you are with projecting their own insecurities and poor life choices onto you. Black women, on today's date, I give thanks to you. I give thanks to us for being the courageous and awesome women that we are. Don't forget to love on yourselves today. And remember, mammies come in all ages, all shapes, all sizes, and even divested people can be mammies. Don't go from being a mammy to one group of men to being a mammy for another group of men. Stay blessed and have a great day.